Hello and welcome to this chess versus the computer video. So it looks like they have some new chess bots on chess.com for celebrating Earth Day here. So I'm going to try and just play through those. They start at 400 and go up to 2000. So I'll begin with the white pieces and just alternate. The first one is 400 against Diana. This bird here, what is it, a dodo? Dodo bird. All right, here we go. With the white pieces, I'll try the Jabava London, which I've been working on lately. But at this level, who knows what the computer is going to do at a 400 level. Okay, well, we could capture here. And then if they capture, we take the queen and get rid of their right to castle. So, that's not so bad. We grab the center here. And now, what do? Bring the bishop up, attacking this unprotected pawn. The king moves to protect that. Do we jump up here with a check, threatening a fork? So that's a possibility as well. But we probably need to develop some pieces. We'll go after this pawn. And he does not protect that pawn. So let's just go here. Well, before we do that, let's knock out this knight. And then go up here after the pawn. Well, and then he moves right into the fork. So let's go ahead and fork. Take the rook. All right, and now we have this attack here, but we have time to run our knight. Okay, so now we're ahead here by quite a bit of material. What, +7? What do we want to do? Bring our knight back into the center. So we'll just go right there. And this just gives up the bishop, so we'll take that. All that's left to do is kind of activate our rooks, so we might as well put our rooks on the open files. Okay, we can trade off more material. Should we take with the knight or the rook? Well, a rook on the 7th rank is usually decent, but the knight would be the only thing protecting that, so let's just take it with the knight. And then we'll attack. We have a discovered attack next. So our rook is cutting the king off. We have a discovered attack coming here with our rook, and if we move that knight out of the way. So what are we going to do? Let's just drop it back. Bring our other rook into the game. So we'll go there. And then we can go here and threaten a mate on the back rank. Okay. Now we'll try it this way. And mate. Okay. Well, we'll just look at the game review on these real quick, just the scores. So 93.5% accuracy versus 78.1. It says I played at a 1700 level and the computer played at a 900 level, which is not bad for a 400 rated computer. All right, on to the next one. So new bot, now we're playing Tim the Sea Turtle. So I'm going to use the black pieces this time. Here we go. Okay, it looks like d4, d5. And we have the Queen's Gambit. So I'm going to decline that and just defend the pawn. So they add another attacker. I bring another defender in. Capture. And so after the exchanges here, they put some pressure on this pawn. So I'm going to just go ahead and defend it. Like that. Now, it looks like they're gaining an advantage. But if I capture and they go after my queen here, I can do that. And now their queen can be captured. So we'll take with check, and then we can go after their bishop. And after all that, we end up ahead by an extra knight here. Okay, what now? Might as well place our rook on the open file. And now we have to move this knight so we can activate our bishop. Okay, should we capture it with the knight or the bishop? I'll go with the knight. Although it might have been better to develop. But now we can defend our knight. Oh, they could have attacked that. But then that pawn would block the path of that bishop here. So, I guess we could just go after that. Then attack. All right. What now? Just go here. You know, if they capture, they get 2 pieces for that rook, but we're still ahead in material. And we have this discovered attack now, so that's going to end up winning us the game. So which piece do we go after? I'm going to take the pawn and the rook here. All right. Well, we'll just bring that up, defend the pawn. And, all right. Oh, that kind of trapped our king in there a little bit. We can just give back a little bit of material. I did some videos on sacrificing, you know, which is something you may do if you're ahead. Like here, I'm ahead in material, so I could give back. But, you know, do we really want to do that? Okay, let's limit the scope of the knight first. So we'll go there. We'll put the pieces, our pawns, on the opposite. Well, now he's just giving us some material, so we'll take that. Okay, what next here? Well, now we can just go ahead and take that because we're so far ahead in material. We can pick off this pawn. And probably just get our king up in the action now. Let's block these pawns with the rook and the bishop. Get our king over and into the game. Okay. Well, now he's threatening to move over towards the center, so we don't want to allow that. We'll keep him cut off with the rook. We'll bring our king up into the game. And now, let's push these pawns up. Then we can bring our king forward and just slowly press his king back. Okay, now we can push that king back even further, and we'll just use the king and the rook to slowly trap the king. All right. We'll just waste a move here by dropping back. and then push the king even further. Now we have to watch out because this bishop could prevent the opponent from moving here. So we'll go that way. We don't want a stalemate. So that's something we have to watch out for. Now, I think we're good. We can move our king in the, to here, and he'll be able to go there. So we go there and deliver a mate on the side of the board here. Okay, a quick game review score. See what we had going on. Looks like I played at 86.4 in that one. My opponent played at 75.8. We had 1,600 for the opponent, 1,800 for me. 1,600, that's not bad for an 800 rated bot. What is this brilliant move? It said that oh, okay. Yeah, that was in the beginning. So this is a pretty well-known trap in the Queen's Gambit where they think they get an extra pawn here, but you can just take it. And then if they take your queen, well, then you can go here checking their king, and the only way to stop that is to block with their queen. So once you take it, and apparently you didn't even have to take that. You could have just taken the bishop first. But either way, you end up ahead by a knight here. All right, on to the next bot. Let's see here. New bot. Who are we playing next? It looks like Rhonda the Rhino. Okay, so now we're back to the white pieces. Here we go. Try this Jabava London if they let us set it up. All right, in the Jabava London, you want to play the pawn to d4. Okay, well, that stops me from being able to play the Jabava London. All right, well, because normally I want to bring my bishop up here, but now it'll be captured. So we'll just develop a knight. And, well, now we can attack the queen here. And we'll go here, threaten to attack this queen again. And we develop as well. All right. So now I need to retreat. Where to? Probably this way. Okay. So now we give up that pawn. We could attack. Will the queen have an escape? Let's find out. The queen will be able to go to that light square. So, should we press our attack, driving the queen up to the light square? Or do we just ignore that for the moment? We could pick off this pawn over here. So maybe we'll focus on that. Okay. What next? We have to finish our development and get our king castled, I think. So let's go there and get ready to castle. Okay. Now, might as well jump forward and attack here. All right. Let's capture, trade off the queens, bring his knight to the edge of the board. Then we can take his bishop pair. But before we do that, let's trade off some material here. Leave his king stuck in the center, not able to castle. Okay, so now we need to break things open while his king is stuck in the center there. So let's start pressing our pawns forward. He does have a check possible. All right, let's go that way. Then we get a check in first. We can go after this knight. Or sorry, not after the knight. Use our knight to go after the pawn. Kind of open things up even more. All right. What now? We should just step away with our king, probably. So we'll just get off of the dark square. And now what? We're ahead in material by +2. So we probably should just continue to trade down material, trade off pieces, I should say. Okay. Well, maybe we push our passed pawns. Just push those passed pawns up the board. I think I'm going to bring my rook over to this open file first. Okay. All right, let's push the pawns. We're pushing the pawns up the board. We have an opposite colored bishop endgame, so we have to be careful with that. Let's attack. Huh. Okay, that just seems to be a mistake because now we can just take that. And what next? Well, we'll just keep pushing up the board with the passed pawn. We don't want to open things up and give our opponent counterplay. So, oh, we could slide over here and check. And is that a mate? No, there's one square left. But we can all right, we don't want to open things up, so we'll just press forward some more here. Well, now we can just trade off material. So we'll go there. We'll head over this way to protect that pawn, and then that relieves our rook from guard duty. Now remember, if you're ahead in material here, we're ahead by +5. We want to avoid pawn trades because we can use those to promote at the end, and we want to trade off pieces. So at this point, I think we just need to keep pushing our passed pawns here. We'll just keep going with the passed pawns. Now we might as well force the rook to capture our queen here. All right. Let's prevent the king from being able to run forward and out this way. Okay. Now what? Now what? Let's trap the king on the edge of the board. So now we can just bring our king up into the action and deliver a mate. All right, but first let's deal with this. We could just ignore that for the moment. Now we'll go ahead and get rid of any counterplay that he might have. Okay, we want to watch out for stalemates as well. So let's move up here, really limit that king's options. Now he can only go back and forth between these squares. And now we can mate. So there we go. All right, quick game review. What is the score for this one? Looks like we played at 80.9. The computer was 72.9. I played at an 1800 level. The computer played at 1150, so it played a little bit below its 1350 level. All right, on to the next one here. We have Newbot. What are we using this time? The black pieces against Sunny, the snow leopard. I think that's a snow leopard. So with the black pieces, here we go. Okay. So we're going to play the Caro-Kann. They grab the center, we fight for the center. Now they're defending, we knock out one of their central pawns. After the rook, or excuse me, the knight captures, we attack. We capture away from the center because now we keep all our pawns together and we can develop quickly with that E pawn up on F6. Okay, now, do I want to avoid... should I keep the queens on the board or trade them? I'm going to go here, and then I can castle. All right. Well, that does give me an isolated pawn, I guess. After that. All right, now I'm ahead, so I could block with the knight or just... well, I have to block with the knight because the queen could capture this B7 pawn. So now that helped us develop there. We can go ahead and castle. So our king is safe. All right, now we have a threat. The possible push trapping our bishop. So let's attack their bishop first. Then we'll go here. Maybe that was a better move. We could have had a discovered attack there. All right. Well, let's centralize that knight. We put the knight on an outpost. Okay. Now what? Let's bring the rook on the half open file, but then they could pick our pawn off. So maybe we don't want to do that. All right. We'll just go there. Kind of stop any activity. Now we can move over here. Okay, an attack. So we could just drop our bishop back. I think that's what we'll do. And now that pawn is under attack. So we do have a little tactical possibility. We could go here and attack both bishops at the same time. So maybe I'll try that. So we'll knock out his bishop pair. And then what should we do next? All right, we want to keep that knight from being, well, probably have to capture. So maybe we double the rooks up. I'm going to make a little escape hatch for my king, I think. So we'll go there. All right, so we're going to defend. We're going to have an unprotected bishop, though. That's not so good. All right. All right, what now? We'll just go there and defend, I think. All right. Well, let's push forward and we'll go that way. Okay, now we want to trade his bishop off. So what is the best way to do that? We're going to go there. Then what? Go here. Try and knock out this bishop. Oh, now that's under attack. This guy, or player, this player is sneaky. All right. Well, let's trade off material. If we're ahead, might as well continue doing that. So, oh, the problem is if we go here, they could check us. And that's probably going to happen. All right, no, it did not happen. So now we can go that way. We'll bring this over. Okay. Huh. Oh no, I gave up this pawn. Well, they didn't take it. They could have captured and then taken the pawn. So I'm going to go that way. Get my king centralized. Huh. All right, well, I guess we'll see what happens here. This might turn into a draw here. I don't don't really see much that I can do. Hmm. All right, I think we actually have to be careful here. If I go that way, these pawns could start marching up. Now we'll just go there. Hmm. So now it's kind of tricky. If I bring my king up, or do I capture? Sorry, this one's taking a little bit longer. So if I capture, he captures, I move my king up and gain the opposition, but then he can just step to the side. If I go, all right, so capture, capture, I gain the opposition. He just steps back here. Then it's going to take me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 moves to promote. And it'll take him, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 moves to promote. So, if we just go there, we'll see what the opponent does. It may end up being a draw. All right. Well, I kind of have to go back that way, maybe. Hmm. All right, do I go all the way back here? Maybe. Oh, wow. I can't even take him because my king will kind of be out of play. So, yeah, it's pretty much, I don't know, it's probably going to be a draw here. Well, maybe not. Not after that move. Now my king makes it further up, up the board. Hmm. Let's see what the computer does. Maybe it'll make another ridiculous mistake. All right. The problem is, well, if I do that, he'll capture, I go back, then he makes forward progress. So I hope you're not all falling asleep by now. So probably a draw here. We'll go there. that's different. Now, do we push forward? I think so. And now we can push his king away, I think. We'll go after that. And now what? We go there, we can drop back and attack that pawn. All right. Well, this is what happens if you hang on there. You never know. You might be able to start marching up the board and making some progress. Well, there we go. Let's go here and really prevent his king from being able to move. And then we'll try and help promote our pawn. Wow, okay, this is a long drawn out end game, but you'll see how you can try and win if your opponent doesn't know exactly what to do. Okay, so now we need to get our king back in the action. Need to knock out these pawns and promote over here. All right, so we definitely need to protect our pawns with our bishop, then run over here and grab this pawn. Then we can promote our other one. Wow. Okay, we should be able to win here. I'm sorry this is taking so long. This is going to end up being a 100 move game. I don't know how long the video's been going, but it's definitely turning out to be longer than I planned. And we didn't even get to the 200 one yet, so maybe I'll have to end it here after this video. Or, sorry, after this game, end the video. Okay. We use our queen to cut the king off into an ever smaller section of the board. So now that we have the king trapped on the edge of the board, we can use our bishop to help. All right, quick game review, and then maybe I'll do the final game against the 2000 rated player in the next video. So let's see here. Game review. We'll do that real quick. All right. Wow, that was a long game. It looks like I played at 81.3. They played at 77.1. Oh, it looks like I made some error earlier in the game where I might have been losing around here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so something happened earlier in the game. I'll click on that in a minute. But it looks like I played at a 2000 level. The computer played at a 1750 level. All right. But we had a lot of inaccuracies, 9 by both of us. The computer had 7 mistakes. I had 5. The computer had 4 misses, and I had 6. So let me see what that move was here. Oh, yeah, that's where he could have just... Oh, wait a minute. Let's see if I got this right. I should have gone here with the bishop. So let me go back one. I moved here, and that was a mistake. I needed to move my bishop up. And then here, my opponent could have delivered a check. Oh, wow. A check, I would have to run. And then here, there could be a pin to my rook, or the bishop would be pinned. All right, anyway, so yeah, some mistakes were made in there. Feel free to leave comments, like, and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you for watching, and have a super chess day.